Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mr. Go channel. So, how to deliver a planned response? We are here to find out, and let's go! Planned response is part of paper 4, and you are to present ideas and opinions fluently and effectively to engage the audience. That is, the listener that is listening to you. What is it? It is part 1 of paper 4, and they have to plan and deliver a response to a video clip and accompanying prompt presented on a computer screen. You are to deliver your response to the ears of the examiner. This is part of the description, and most importantly, you need to be fluent and effective to engage the audience, that is the listener. This is upon 15 marks, and 10 marks are allocated to the content, which is super important, and that's where you know how to craft your answers. If you're not sure, please refer to the other video where we talk about the content and how to develop it. If not, we will now move on to the other 5 marks, which is the delivery. In spite of it being a lower mark, it's actually 1/3 of your mark and super important as well. So if you're looking to score that distinction, this is absolutely critical. In the assessment criteria, you have band 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the mark correspond to the band. We are interested in the top band where we talk about fluent and clear pronunciation and intonation varied to good effect. For band 5, it's important to take note that your answers need to be fluent, your answers need to be clear, and you need to vary your intonation to good effect, thus being able to engage the audience. What is fluency? According to Hudson, Lane, and Pullen, reading fluency is made of at least 3 key components: accurate reading of connected text at a conversational rate, that means not too fast or not too slow, with appropriate prosody or expression. So this part will be continued, but in the meantime, remember to click like, subscribe, and click on the notification button. What do you mean by clear pronunciation? Clear pronunciation is more than just listen and repeat. It includes features of language such as vocabulary and grammar, and skills such as speaking and listening. So we pronounce by noticing and understanding rules and patterns which lie beneath the surface of the speech. 4 common flaws in pronunciation that we notice in students. The first will be the TH sound, which is th. The second will be N consonants, and the third will be the th sound. Example, the N. It varies based on the vowel, which we will elaborate later, and the long versus short vowels. If we have a tongue twister, would you be able to do it? So my challenge to you, read 6 words. If not, we'll ask her to do it.
6th sick sheiks, 6th sheep sick. 6th sick sheiks, 6th sheep sick.
Alright, are you accurate in your reading? So, TH sound is super important because without it, you won't be able to differentiate between 3 or 3, which is 2 separate ideas. One referring to the green plant, the other one referring to the digit 3. TH sound is called a digraph, represents 2 different phonemes. The first will be voice dental fricative, which is these. The other one, which is voiceless, such as thing. The idea is different, that voice means that it's very clearly pronounced, while voiceless is really not that emphasized. Even though there is such a word called sound, which is a TH sound, is actually made of 2 different phonemes, whether the voice or the voiceless. So, for example, of voice TH sounds, we have that, this, these, then, there, though. For voiceless, we have think, thank, thesis, thermos, think, thought. This is important because we need to differentiate whether they are voice or voiceless. This is to ensure whether we need to voice the TH sound or keep it soft. Next, we have N consonants, which are also the stop consonants. They are also known as final consonants, such as P, T, K, B, D, G, F. Students usually leave out consonant sounds at the end of words because they are in the hurry to read the next word. And that is called final consonant deletion, which is an awful mistake to make. Words such as P, T, K, B, D, G, and F, such as stop, start, stake, rob, did, gag, and life. The ending sound is absolutely important because sometimes without it, it might actually be thought as another word. Thirdly, we have the end. So what do we pronounce it as, the end or the end? Which one is the correct one, or pronounce it as the end versus the one or the one? So what is the difference? The main important thing is the vowel versus consonant. For N, it starts with a vowel sound. So the word N begins with a vowel such as A sound, so it ends with N. And for one, it is a consonant. One begins with consonant such as W. So one, the one. On the other hand, for N, we have the N, since it starts with a vowel sound. At this point, you might wonder, in primary school, some teachers actually teach it based on the letter, what you see there, and that perhaps could be a fundamental step to introduce students to the versus the. But as you go on to more advanced level, it is important to take note that we are focusing on the sound rather than the letters that is being spelled. Last but not least, we move on to long versus short vowels. What is a long vowel? So a long vowel sounds like the name of the letter. For example, a long A sounds like the letter A. There are two ways to spot long vowels. One is to put two vowels next to each other, such as me, eo. So it's A and I, the two vowels are next to each other, and that will create a long vowel. Next, we might want to place an E at the end of the word, and that will become a long vowel as well, such as B-I and an E, so bike. Yes. If we know what is a long vowel where the vowels are placed next to each other, then what in the world is a short vowel? A short vowel is if it doesn't sound like any of the vowel letters. A is pronounced as R instead of A. There's a slight difference in sound, so we call it apple. Next, we have E, which is pronounced as A as in egg. You don't pronounce as E. I is pronounced as E as in insect. O, we have O, such as bog. So it's pronounced as an O sound instead of an O sound. Last but not least, U is pronounced as in tug instead of U. Last but not least, we move to the last section where we talk about intonation. Intonation is also known as the music of speech, how beautiful your speech is. And we're talking about whether there's a change or variation in your speech. So intonation allows the listener to understand the speaker's attitude and interest, or perhaps boredom and surprise, all the different feelings and emotions, such as frustration.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Alright, definitely no. Such is an excellent example of falling intonation. Intonation describes how the voice rises and falls in speech. The three main intonation patterns that you'll notice in English is the falling intonation, the rising intonation, and last but not least with the fall and rise intonation. The intonation first falls and then rises. Falling intonation describes how the voice falls on the final stress syllabus of a phrase or a group of words. And the falling intonation is very common in the WH questions. So such as, where's the nearest post office? So there's a falling intonation. When you are using that in your speech, do take note of that. When you're planning your response, you might want to use a falling intonation when you want to pose a WH questions. We also use it when we say something definite or when we want to be very clear about something, such as, I think we're completely lost. So a rising intonation indicates, well, uncertainty, such as, we are completely lost. Right, so that'll be totally weird. Rising intonation describes how the voice rises at the end of a sentence. So rising intonation is very common in a yes-no question. I heard the health center is expanding, so is that the new doctor? So rising, going up sound. Last but not least, we have fall rise intonation, which describes how the voice falls and then rises. You may use fall rise intonation at the end of a statement when we want to say something we're not sure, or when we may have more to add, so the listener will be pausing and waiting for you to complete what you have to say. I don't support any football team at the moment, so it goes down and go instead of moment. But I may change my mind in the future. That's what I want to add on later. We use it with questions, especially when we want to request information or invite somebody to do or to have something. Use fall rise intonation to make the question sound more polite. So, is this your camera? This is perhaps a question to request for information, whether the camera belongs to you or not. Instead, if you were to use the following intonation, it will sound pretty odd. Is this your camera? It sounds more forceful and perhaps unnecessary for the occasion when you're requesting for information. Now it's your turn to practice. So what you can do to practice is to record yourself. You could perhaps do it with your friends and definitely with your teacher. And that will help you hone your delivery skills so that you can move up to the band that you desire. That's all for today, and thank you very much and have an awesome day.